Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Neki broadcast. We are thinking in Wesnoth, and we are casting a tournament game this time. Therefore, I'm really excited what these two people can do. So, we've seen this map before. I don't think we have. I am such a noob, I have no idea what this map is. So, for those of you who are more knowledgeable than me, please write down in the comments the name of this map. It does seem strangely familiar, like from an age past, but I can't really tell. So there are 16 villages in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It looks like an incredibly boring map, to be honest, simply because all these villages are within close reach of the main keep or the main castle, if you wish. So it does seem like a perfect map for campers and bankers. And don't get me wrong, I have absolutely nothing against campers and bankers. Bankers are really important for the very fabric of society. However, it can also mean that once an attack breaks through, that attack could get two villages. Therefore, we might see a short game. For example, if one attack breaks through, eventually, for example, this area has 4 villages, and then, for example, dwarves, right? Dwarves can camp for a long time, and then if they manage to push through, then they can perch on these hills and mountains and whatnot, and then it will be very difficult for the party that basically is trying to defend dwarves counterattack. It would be very difficult for that party to come back into the game. Therefore, I'm really not sure what to expect. If somehow, some way, through a miracle, one side gets a village early on, then that side should win. I mean, look at this village here. If you just place a merman here, even 2 mermen, I mean, a merman and a I don't know. I'm just trying to think what could, for example, an archer, 70% defense, right? Or Saurians, right? I mean, Saurians not the best. Saurians are relatively easy to kill, but for example, spearmen, even spearmen. I mean, spearmen here, it's a choke point. You can just keep exchanging spearmen, although it's it's a bit tricky, right? So from this perspective, Saurians would be actually more scary in terms of losing this village to Saurians. Anyway, it remains to be seen. This game was recommended to me by 4Piece. Shout out to 4Piece. By the way, guys, if you want to send me games from tournaments, please rename the files. Don't just say X1Y, because I just get so bored casting this for you and then I bore you in return. So please don't do that. And also, guys, really appreciate it for all your support. However, if you do wish to subscribe, I mean, if you do like this channel, please subscribe. It does help a bit. I'm struggling with personal time at the moment, so if you want me to keep going with this hobby of mine, please show your support. Show that what I do is really useful for you guys, and at least I'm creating an idea or two. It's not much. It's just a click, subscribe, and should show me whether what I'm doing is indeed useful to you, ladies and gentlemen, or not. Anyway, let's crack on. Daniel BR in the top corner, north. Let's see what he can do. I'll just play side turn. Okay, play again, I guess. Never mind. I am being trolled with this side turn. Lots of recruits, lots of bones, no adepts, incredibly interesting, and 2 vampire bats. Why? So he could have more money for bones. Had he recruited a ghost instead, then obviously he would have had less money for core units. Ghosts are relatively difficult to make work on most matchups and maps. So let's see now what his opponent is Dwarf, and I do hope for Krau's sake that this is ladder era. If not, and if he insisted for default era, then he is an absolute baller, as North Americans say. He would have a complete control of this match simply because he insisted he wants to play on default era. I really don't know what these guys talked or did not talk before the game. So I'm really excited to see. We shall see pretty soon. So play side turn. Yes, it's impact, it's default. So I expect Dwarf to have an absolutely amazing time. He even goes for so many footpads, is as if he knows, although these two archers will not be very useful against all those bones. So let's see here, standard village grabbing, I guess. He's even using his leader to grab villages. He's just desperate to grab those villages. I guess +2 only. No, I'm reading it wrong. This is crawl. So I don't particularly agree with this. He's probably thinking, look, I have so many bones. I don't have adepts. Therefore, I'm just going to make sure I'm going to get my bone here in the most vulnerable village. Perhaps get also my ghoul here in the most vulnerable village on the left. And I'm just going to chill for a while simply because I don't have enough units to make an attack during first night. I mean, look at the distance. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's very short, but also the distance here is very short. However, he has to cover 2 areas, I feel. If you don't do 2 attacks, 1 on each side, you're not actually attacking. You're digging yourself into a hole. This is what I feel this map is about. Balancing out the units on left and right, carefully balancing them and making sure you can, I mean, if you had some griffins, but again, look at these mushrooms. It's an interesting map. It's an interesting map. The balancing act between left and right is going to hopefully come into play here. I'm really curious to see it. So let us see what the strategy is going to be from our purple player. He had lots of footpads, and these archers requisitioned the villages which were closest to the keep, and he was a bit more efficient when compared to our undead player, simply because these skeletons are sturdy. They are supposed to be sturdy, not versus footpads. They are not. So simply because these skeletons are a bit more sturdy, they also have 5 movement speed. Therefore, they are not that quick on their feet. So I bet you right now Daniel BR is praying, although he's undead. I bet he is praying at the moment. So he's pushing his units forward. That is not going to achieve absolutely anything, especially without any adepts. I would already start recruiting Offseeker, simply because those adepts will be coming in the near future. He could just recruit. So this guy is, I'm not sure whether this guy is quick or not, but I would just recruit footpads and offseekers, to be honest, just for fun. And, okay. Campland 2020. 1, 2, 3 ghouls. However, I don't blame him at all, simply because these footpads are incredibly frustrating to deal with. You can really do absolutely nothing against them. The most efficient unit, of course, you can always recruit adepts versus them, but eventually footpads would overrun you, right? And they actually deal damage back to the adepts. Adepts are easy prey for these suckers. I don't know. I mean, ghouls, they are fine. Why? Because even if they manage to get 1 hit versus that 70% defense, the footpads will eventually die if zone of controlled with ghouls, and ghouls are the single unit that have somewhat of a resistance versus impact. Let me see. Yes, so they have a huge 0% impact resistance, whereas the skeletons, they have minus 20%. Anyway, let's see. I'm very curious how Undead plays it. So I'm not sure So this is hidden. I'm not sure whether the Griffin is aware of that skeleton or not. I would say at this level of play, the Griffin is already aware, and I wouldn't expect him to grab these villages. So let us see here what. Okay. So basically, Undead is camping, and Undead is saying, I have absolutely zero intention to attack. I'm just going to camp with ghouls, one ghoul on each village that I consider vulnerable. And on top of that, I will have walking corpses. Nice trap here. Again, I'm not sure whether the Griffin Rider is aware of this skeleton or not. I would expect him to be. However, this is a nice trap. It's like, look, I am actually covering this village because there's nothing here. This is not the skeleton you are looking for. Using the force here, doing mind plays. However, I expect him again to be aware. But and as I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, that I would expect him to be aware, he apparently is not and falls for this mind trick. And this is, I think, going to make us have a game on our hands, because now there will be a shift in momentum from Undead to Dwarf, right? 24 gold is a lot of gold. I mean, I don't know where you're coming from, but in Wesnoth, talking Wesnoth, right? Wesnoth currency, 24 pieces of gold. That is like an incredible amount. So killing this Griffin, of course, I'm not sure whether he has enough firepower actually to kill this Griffin. But let's say, it's a quick Griffin, so it could die. So 2 attacks from the skeleton archer, 2 attacks from the skeleton, so 18 plus 14, 32. Actually, it won't die. He would need 3 out of 3. However, there is a bat here, right? So 2 attacks in, 2 attacks in, and 1 attack from the bat. And if this Griffin Rider dies, then, and plus it can be zone of controlled. No, it cannot. Or can it? Let me see. No, because this tile 1711 will always be free, so the bat cannot reach this tile. So the only way to sort of control the Griffin Rider is to kill it. Anyway, let us see how Undead plays it. But look here, 1, 2 poachers that more or less will deal absolutely no damage. So I would say if the ghoul goes on the village and the skeleton archer goes on the mushroom, or if the ghoul goes on the mushroom and the skeleton archer goes on the village, depending on how he wants to play it, I would say he would be absolutely fine here. In terms of this flank, now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now is the time for an adept, and he should be focusing real hard to get a quick adept if possible. So quick adept, defend this village, bring your leader forward to put more pressure on this village, and also leader would put pressure on this particular village if a dwarf does decide to push. However, I don't expect dwarf to do anything. I mean, it's second watch. And these footpads, they are absolutely great. However, they don't deal tremendous amounts of damage versus villaged skeletons, right? So they need to hit the skeletons to deal the damage. They are great in stopping an attack in its tracks. They are great in defense. They are great in counterattack. They are great 95% of the time versus undead. They are not great versus a village skeleton. So especially if you attack the village skeleton from 60%, for example. So by all means, this is not going to break the undead defense. It's going to make it really, really, really difficult for undead to leave its base. However, these 3 footpads, 4 footpads will not, wipe out a villaged defense. Anyway, we shall see how I'm going to play single move here. So he goes for the Griffin. He does not get the hits. So no big deal. I mean, he could still get 3 out of 3 with the skeleton. Will he go for it or not? Okay, he's scouting around. Is he okay? An adept, quick. Yeah, he focused for that quick adept, so now he can put his leader wherever. So again, oh, he's not even going to risk it. He's going to say, skeleton archer, go for it. Not a problem for me, because leader can back up anyway. Okay, he's not even going to bother with the griffin, and that is, to be honest, it's quite fair, quite a fair point. Even he does not bother. He does not bother with this dark sorcerer either, simply because he's saying, "Look, I need to keep recruiting. Now I need to build up my adept numbers. I have some shields, which are the meat to be in front and defend, and now I should basically build some offensive capability." Which is fair. Back to Camplands 2020. Okay, that is interesting. Because this footpad is on 40%. I mean, I understand footpads are absolutely amazing, but putting them on 40% kind of defeats the whole purpose of the footpad. Also, seems a bit weird here that the skeleton archer is in the water. Could have put the skeleton archer here and then followed up with the skeleton from the water. But I see also the motivation for him playing in the order that he did. So that is absolutely fine. It would be difficult to deal with these footpads, and these footpads can retreat. So from this perspective, I understand 40% does not really matter. This footpad cannot be zone of control. This footpad cannot be zone of control. I understand this as well. Also, this is low defense terrain, so I can see why he would form a line here. So from this perspective, this is quite a strong attack. However, with footpads alone, it would take a long time to kill this skeleton, simply because it's on 60%. This skeleton could deal a ton of damage to this footpad. So there can be an exchange here and there until undead reinforcements arrive. However, there is a catch. Day is coming. So from this perspective, so this is a low risk, high reward situation for dwarf. So day is coming, so undead forces can't really deal enough damage to scare these dwarves away. And if things go south, let's say the skeleton gets 3 out of 3 here, you can always retreat the footpad and put the dwarvish fight there, or another footpad, or the griffin, or whatever. Not a problem. Plus, this skeleton can be zone of control from this mushroom grove as well. Also, these ghouls will not be able to deal a lot of damage in terms of a follow-up attack during next night. However, these ghouls could potentially come forward and try to poison some of these footpads. It will be difficult, however. These ghouls can, and there's another ghoul here, can push during the day. And considering that our dwarf player has so many footpads, suddenly it's a funny situation. Our undead becomes the day walker, simply because poison works equally well during day and night, and these footpads they are not that strong during the day. Anyway, let's stop. Again, he's moving his forces forward even if day is coming, simply because, as I said, poison works well. Oh, okay. That was a nice move. That was a really nice move. So he managed to put the experience in the bat. He managed to get enough hits with the skeleton archer to kill the griffin. And that is the 24 gold that I told you about previously. So that is us having a game. So from this perspective, from the perspective of the skeleton archer hitting a lot versus 50%, that this line was a mistake. So suddenly now we are in a position where Undead, with his poisoners, is in a better position, simply because these footpads will not kill this skeleton fast enough. Even if these footpads try to make a stand, kill this skeleton archer in the water, it will not be worth it, simply because the leader is here, depths are here, and these footpads will die in return. And leveling a bat, it's the last thing that our dwarvish player wants to do. So really interested how the dwarf is going to play this. So chaining those dwarvish fighters, realizes that footpads can get him that far. And it's funny because dwarf is retreating during the day, but this is what poison does to you. A leader, I guess. However, the main issue is on this side, not necessarily here in the center of the map. But I expect him, yeah, he finds a way to retreat. He's basically saying, okay, it's 60%, 60%, 60%. However, I would go for it. I would go. I only need one hit to poison one footpad, so I would go for it. I would poison these footpads simply because during the night they will not be. They will be injured. They will not have that much HP. However, this is an insane amount of footpads. 5 footpads. This is footpad land. Anyway, so that was this shows what Griffin loss can do to your morale. And there's the ghost there. That is another unit which Undead can use versus Dwarves. So with ghosts and ghouls, these masses of footpads will eventually die. However, footpads have quite a potent ranged attack and they can kill the ghosts eventually if they surround them. Like 5 footpads surround the ghost, that ghost will die. So, and also ghosts, I believe they die during daytime. I'm not sure. I think they've received the buff, but they might die during daytime too, Suckers. And so the ghouls. So again, all Suckers can deal with pretty much anything else that the footpads cannot. I'll just play side turn. So going for the footpads, poisoning them, as I said, and more ghouls. Why not? If something is not broken, don't change it. So ghouls forward. What I would have liked to see from our undead, from our dwarf player, I would have liked to see an oath on this side or the other, simply because these ghouls will think twice before coming out in the open. I mean, the ghoul can kill. I mean, the Oathseeker can kill the ghoul, and then sure, the Oathseeker is vulnerable. However, whatever unit kills the Oathseeker will also get a lot of damage. So it's basically one unit and 70% or 60% of another unit for a unit. So it's great for exchanging from Dwarf's side, and plus it intimidates these ghouls. However, because he has archers and dwarvish fighters are great for the long term, but they don't have that intimidation factor that Oathseekers do have. So I'm expecting to retreat this, but however, this placement was quite poor, to be honest. I'm not sure if that was intentional or he had something in mind. I mean, I understand 60%, however, he could have gone a bit back. He's not going to break through this. I mean, takes a long time to kill these skeletons, I feel. I mean, sure, this one might die, but then the dwarf will be on 30%, and then the dwarf will die in return. I mean, these walking... I mean, if for example, all these units hit 30% dwarvish fighter, and then the walking corpse finishes off the dwarvish fighter, then suddenly Undead is in a great position. Anyway, I'm going to play unit by unit. I feel that it's really important what he's doing. Okay, so he's basically saying, I tried to bait you. I don't really care. I can't really use my poachers anyway. I tried to bait the ghoul out so I could kill the ghoul, which is an interesting move. Again, he does not really care about poachers. Also, Undead does not really deal a lot of damage. So he's basically saying, look, I'm going to put my resilient poacher here. If you want to waste all the time in the world to kill this poacher, be my guest. However, this poacher will probably being 37 hit points and being attackable from 3 sides, he's probably going to survive, more or less. And then he's going to go for the ghoul. Very well played. Okay, so this is a quick, resilient fighter. He is not healthy, so poison is going to be a problem. So it's basically saying, I've eliminated the ghoul. Now I can be absolutely relaxed about the rest of your units, right? Wrong. Simply because the ghouls are not the main damage dealers. They are the main damage dealers during daytime, yes. So they basically go in, poison a lot of units, die, but then the real damage dealers come. So with him being so far away, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is not a quick poacher, with him being so far from the villages, I expect Undead, he should just recruit adepts, 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 adepts. I expect Undead to have a great time during next day cycle. I mean, 2 units poison here, 2 units poison here. This would be he should have mass adepts at this point, adepts and ghosts, to deal with these offsuckers. Anyway, let's see what how Dwarf decides to continue. So he pulls back. You see, it's much better with footpads. Even if they get poisoned, they can immediately heal. And he is more concerned about this flank. He's just going to stay back on this other flank, and he's going to say, look, you can poison me, but you're not going to deal damage to kill me. And this particular skeleton is not going to do much either, as long as he can form. I mean, sure, the vampire bat has a 4th slot on this footpad. However, is this really what you want to attack with during the day? A vampire bat? I don't think so. So, he even goes forward and says, look, another 70% without healing this time. So yeah, go for that. Not a problem. I don't even want to risk my footpad on the village, which is a fair point. Okay, it's a bit shy here. What is this Dwarvish fighter doing? He's just closing the line. He's even saying, look, 3, you want 3, go for this Dwarvish fighter, which has a bit more resistance than this poacher. I don't want to give you 3 sides on the poacher. Go for Dwarvish fighter. Come inside the trap, which is, I think, a better play than what I initially thought he would do. Now, in terms of the undead, again, ghosts, which are fine. However, he does need those adepts. He can't really, in terms of the undead player, he can't really attack without adepts. He needs them badly. So, okay, the leader forward to discourage any move from the Dwarvish fighter. 1-1, pretty even at this stage. The ghost wants to be in the middle to be able to reinforce left and right. This is 60%. This is just good terrain for undead. Yeah, so he can't really be attacked. So again, good map for defending and basically closing the trap around your attacker. Pulling back, not even going to try for those footpads. He can't really attack without depths into footpads. Again, ghouls are great versus adepts that are caught in the middle of the map or attacking. However, versus village defenders, ghouls will not deal that much. So basically, these ghouls, they are a deterrent regarding any aggression from these footpads. So he's basically saying, I just want you to leave me alone here. Okay, look at the poison, look how good I am. And also look at the ghost. Ghost can immediately come and close the trap, and then poison will slowly whittle you down. So that is, 2 ghosts perfectly fine in the center. They are the perfect units, I feel. 1, 1, 1, 1. 2, okay, 2, that's fine. You can't have everything, I guess. But ghosts are the perfect units in the center. They can close the gap, and they are extremely difficult to kill during nighttime. Okay, just getting those 60%. Everybody's saying, if you're going to attack into this, I'm going to destroy you. And Undead is saying, if you're going to attack into my 60% mushrooms, I'm going to destroy you. So nobody's really attacking, and this is the Bankfest that I told you about. I was really excited when I saw the Griffin die here, and the trap with the Griffin. But it seems we are going to Campfest 2020, ladies and gentlemen. So buckle up. I'm going to play side turn here. So these units are going back to retreat to the villages to basically heal up the damage. And now what should happen, basically, I would even just go forward with the adept on 60% attack. Skeleton, 60% here, attack. This skeleton, move forward, attack the poacher. Walking corpses, just go move forward. Skeleton, maybe, I'm not really sure here about that. Remains to be seen in the great context of things, but 60% definitely helped. Do it with my eyes closed. Ghost, maybe here on this water, or even just stay away from the mountain. This is my main concern. The problem is he does not have the adept, so this 60% Dwarvish fighter can be exchanged by other Dwarvish fighters. theoretically at least. If he had 1-2 more adepts, I would have said move forward, but not really sure what he can do now. I'll just see. Okay, he is going for it. He is going for it. That's good. That's excellent. So he's going forward. He's blocking the 70% with the bat. That's good strategy. So that was so basically I'm saying you don't need to get that 70%. So now I can be a bit more relaxed with my unit placement. Everything is on 60%. I mean, reach of your village, you should be at least intimidated. I don't want you to be scared, at least a bit intimidated. There aren't that many adepts from this perspective. I don't think this is a particularly scary attack. I wouldn't be scared. I would just recruit more fighters, I would say. Move some footpads over. It's really easy to move footpads over and defend. So, yeah, I'm not even going to place. Oh, he is going for it. I don't agree with this. Excellent. So he's going for it, ladies and gentlemen. This is marvelous. This is the second time or third time when I'm going to say it. I do believe we have ourselves a game. So he basically said, look, I'm not going to go back and defend and wait for you to die of boredom. I'm going to attack instead, simply because you don't have a depth. So I'm going to actually take advantage of the fact that you don't have a depth. I will have a fighter on 60%, a fighter on 70%. Deal with that if you can. Poacher on 50%. Yeah, deal with all that with only one adept. Deal with it. I challenge you. I dare you. So from this perspective, yeah, I understand the thought process from the dwarf. So let's see if. Okay, so both sides are taking risks. That's what I like to see. And you see, this survived simply because it, if there was a second adept here, this dwarvish fighter would have died. But because there wasn't, look, this dwarvish fighter is holding this whole front, so that all these units are safe because of the dwarvish fighter. So in terms of the Kral losses, he still has one loss, the Griffin. He got a bit of damage on this poacher. And these units are wounded simply because, I would say, poor play, poor decision making before. I mean, don't get me wrong, anybody makes mistakes. So it's not, particularly Krau's fault. He took some risks. Now he paid for it in poison, unfortunately. But, now 1, 2, 3, 4 units hurt. However, look at these footpads coming to reinforce. These would be difficult to kill without adepts. However, this lone adept is being used like a mage, like loyalists would use a mage. So it's one adept intimidating, and that there is a second adept being able to hit this 70%. So it's basically saying, as long as I have one adept, you will have to fear for your units, at least one of your units' lives. So that is one way to do it. That's fair enough. And we are back. Sorry for having to interrupt the cast. Probably for you it's a bit seamless because I had to cut a bit. My phone was ringing, so I had to interrupt the cast midway. However, I'm going to finish from where we were left off, and I have some good piece of news, hopefully, is that my new microphone has just arrived, so probably you will sense a change in terms of quality of sound. It can be obviously poorer quality, or it can be a bit better. So do let me know at this particular timestamp, did you notice any change in sound quality whatsoever? Anyway, so I was talking, I believe, about this particular adept here being used as a mage. Okay, so let's see what dwarf player is going to do. So he is going to move his map here. So he's going to move his footpads forward. Wouldn't expect him to do anything else with these footpads. There's no reason to linger on this particular side. These footpads have to come left. Now he did go for the skeleton, and this means this particular dwarvish fighter is now vulnerable to the following two adepts. So I don't necessarily agree with this. However, who am I to judge? These two are 70%, 70%. Therefore, if one of them dies, the other will stand. From this perspective, this is a solid defense. Now, he is putting a new Dwarvish fighter here. So 1, 2, 3 high defense targets. Not all of them can be killed by 2 adepts. It's just 2 adepts. He misses 3 out of 3. That must hurt. He can, you see, that's the beauty of footpads. You could basically use them anywhere to close down the line. So he's closing down the front line with adepts. He's healing his units, or most of them for that matter. Footpad forward, again, close the front line. It's decent defense. Again, in case something does go through, he has another footpad to prevent further chaos from occurring. And from this perspective, he prioritizes Dwarvish Fighter over the Poacher in healing, which I fully agree to. And he is poking around here. Nothing will happen on that side. Again, poking around with this footpad, perhaps a bit more courageous to backstab and help his army, but doesn't want to get too brave on that particular side. Also wants to close that bat off from doing any shenanigans with the village, just in case. He did not recruit anything. Did he not have the funds to recruit? Or did I misread the situation entirely? It's a bit odd that he did not recruit. I expected him to have enough funds to do that. Nevertheless, the more interesting part is what Undead does, because the ball is in Undead's court at this moment in time. So does he press on with the attack? Does he retreat? He goes for it, and as I told you, this fighter is vulnerable to those 2 adepts, and we shall see. He needs the hits. He needs 2 out of 2. Does he get it? 1 is still good enough. He can still get 2 out of 2 with this one. Or even if he doesn't, even if he gets only 1 hit, he has a lot of area to continue hitting this 70% target. He needs at least 1 hit here. 2 out of 2. There you go. So 1 Dwarvish fighter down. However, the remaining front line is still difficult to breach. However, he can put a lot of damage into this footpad, or at least poison him. So he's not going to do much. He's just going to push ghosts forward. So similar to what a dwarf is doing with his footpads, Undead is doing with his ghosts. He's just going to secure the front line. I would expect Offsuckers to come now. Day is coming. Offsuckers will kill these ghosts during day, as far as I can remember. Not really sure with the new modifications. You see, annoying footpad, no damage in. If he was going to stay, I would have said ghoul on the forest. No reason for this ghoul to stay on 40%, really. Perhaps he's worried about the surface area against the adept. However, ghoul on 50% has a higher chance of surviving and protecting the adept from dwarvish fighters. No reason to stay on 40% here. If you go in, go all in, right? Don't just go on 50%. Anyway, we will see whether in the grand scheme of things, this particular, I would say, inaccuracy would matter or not. And okay, not much happening here. A bit of back and forth. He's not going to proceed with the attack here. He's just showing off his troops, not really going to push forward. Now, in terms of what happened overall, 2 losses, 2 kills. Also, as you can see, Crow lost more expensive units than Undead did, simply because Crow lost his Griffin, if you remember. So now, these footpads still deal quite significant, I want to say a lot, but significant amount of damage. So I would say, simply because this ghoul is on 40%, I would say even kill the ghoul. Perhaps if the ghoul dies quick enough, even put some damage into the skeleton archer. So skeleton archer and ghoul could die. If the ghoul dies quick enough, it might even be worth it to kill the adept with this. He can't really kill the adept with footpads alone. He needs some real damage. So then there is also the problem of the ghost. Right, there is a ghost, but the ghost will not die that easily. I would say don't waste time with ghosts. So these two should die. This is what I would do. I mean, I'm already committed here. Recruit, so 26 gold. So he did not have the funds to recruit last turn. I would say recruit an Oathseeker, push leader forward because leader can assist quite a lot with these ghosts. It has quite reliable ranged attack. And then try to, again, kill these two units, put footpads forward, and hope for misses from these adepts. There are only two, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So he goes for the ghoul. I don't agree with this. I mean, why would you waste this tile, right? Okay, if you want to just grab this tile, that's fine. But, well, it's back and forth, isn't it? Right? So he probably is thinking, I need to kill the ghoul from this tile, so then I can get 2 tiles on this adept. That's one way to think about it. Another way to think about it would have been, this dwarvish fighter cannot go anywhere, therefore I should attack first the skeleton because it's the best target. Then depending on how much damage I dealt with to the skeleton, then I can see whether I'd go for this adept or the skeleton. However, adept with footpads, I don't expect it to die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, sure. However, skeleton archer. There's another dwarvish fighter here. So, kill ghoul, right? Kill ghoul from these two sides. Attack dwarvish fighter, attack archer with 2 dwarvish fighters, and the footpad from behind. So this skeleton archer should die. And then, deal some damage to the adept. You're not going to kill it anyway. This is how we would have played it. I would have started with the dwarvish fighter here simply because dwarvish fighter doesn't have anything else better to do. And because he has 3 slots on the archer. But let's see what he did. So he said, no, I'm going to use 1 slot because I want these 2 slots. That's fair enough, I guess. More damage onto the... Okay, so 5. You see, that's the problem with footpads. They don't really deal a lot of damage unless they fight against impact vulnerable targets. And now the problem is if he goes for the skeleton archer, he could have had 1, 2, 3, 4 slots on the skeleton archer instead of having 2 slots on the adept. So, and you see, now he's probably kicking himself. He's like, look, I should have gone for the skeleton archer. He can still do this, so hopefully he will get the kill. There is a nice move with the footpad. I even forgot about it. So he is basically saying, you're not going back. Nobody is living here alive. So he is making a statement that he does want to finish off all these units. Is he going to? Don't agree with this. The leader, there's no reason for the leader to waste time with this village. I'll say, go here, support your units. Oh, he might say, look, I'm going to have to recruit anyway. Plus, I don't see footpad as a good recruit. I see an Oathseeker going on this 50% mountain and then killing whatever. So we have a bit of a different vision in here. But let's see. And again, he did not go for the skeleton archer. He wants to prevent the ghost from attacking these targets behind. However, the ghosts don't deal real damage. He needs to take some risks. There comes a time when he needs to take some risks. He's not kind of taking any. I don't agree with this. This particular adept can still deal damage to the dwarvish fighter. Even if he had 1 hit point, he could have still dealt damage to the dwarvish fighter. So he needs to finish off units. But let's see, who am I to judge? I'm not in this game, so let's see here. Yeah, so I expect these adepts to go on 60% and kill this Dwarvish fighter. So, okay. So the adepts kill the Dwarvish fighter. And now, even if this adept would have been 1 hit point, he would have still be able to do the same. But now you have a living skeleton archer. And that is going to be able to deal more damage. Probably he's not worried about skeleton archers because he's saying I have a lot of footpads. Yeah, he has a lot of footpads simply because all his fighters died. And fighters are more expensive than footpads. What is happening here? That particular footpad. What is he doing with that footpad? Is he attacking the footpad? Okay, he's not attacking the footpad. He's scared. But you see, now you have 60% adepts, and footpads don't really are really unable to kill them. Plus, ghosts are so annoying, and he doesn't have an Offseeker to clear them up at the day. So you get here this run by with the skeleton and the ghoul and another ghoul. So from this perspective, given this run by, now it's actually great that our purple player recruited the footpad because he can simply cover this village with the footpad and be absolutely fine, not care about anything. So from this perspective, he was the one with the vision. I was the one more focused on killing units. Now, it's really important how he prioritizes targets here. Losses kills 3-3 again once more. He will be forced to attack ghosts, unfortunately, which is such a waste of time. Say four slots on this ghost. Significant damage plus 70%. Or try to finish off the adept versus 60%. I wouldn't recommend it. It's a difficult position to be in, to be honest. What did he do here? Okay, he's going for the adept. I don't agree. This is such a waste of time. Okay, maybe not. 2 out of 2 versus the adept and another footpad to finish the adept off. Let's see. Okay, this is getting dangerous because this adept is close to leveling up. These footpads are going to die relatively slowly. I mean, poison is going to kill them eventually, but it will take so long. And there it goes, the ghost. Okay, 4. Oh, he said it's not enough damage. No point in wasting time with the ghost. That's fair enough, I guess. Again, he's going for the ghost. Oh, no, for the bat. Just doesn't want any shenanigans, apparently. And prioritizes adepts because the adepts are the ones that can kill him. This is another way to go about it. It's like, look, I don't really care about these skeletons. I want to kill the adepts, even if it takes a long time, because if the adepts attack me, I have ranged attack to fight back. So even if it could take a long time, I will still prioritize the adepts, which is fair. That's one way to play it. Great. So now he can sleep well here on this side. He doesn't need to worry about absolutely anything, but he needs an Offseeker. Where is the Offseeker? The Offseeker can even kill the ghoul at this point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would have said skeleton for Offseeker exchange would have been worth it at this point, simply because there's so much pressure here at this point. And skeleton would have gotten the experience initially, but then one of these footpads would have gotten the experience back. So from this perspective, it would have been, I would say, a better recruit. But it would have raised issues with villagers. I guess the fighter is a healthier option, and it would basically make all these units go back. However, this side is not reinforced because of this. An Offseeker, I feel, would change the whole dynamics of this game. Anyway, however, look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks quite impressive. 6 footpads. Because of these ghosts are a bit faded away, it just feels so impressive with 6 footpads here. And they are all 60% targets, right? So it's really difficult to kill them without the depths. Let's see how he will prioritize. So poisoning the guy with most experience, that is absolutely fine. More poison. Okay, that's another thing. Walking corpses are actually pretty good against footpads. If simply because they are fearless, and at the same time they are cheaper than footpads, so they can swarm footpads in a similar manner in which a footpad swarm undead. Walking corpses can swarm footpads if you can keep them alive long enough. This is incredibly dangerous. I would personally put the experience in. Not really sure, to be honest. One way to go about it is put the experience in the adept. However, the adept might die if he's unlucky. So another way to go about it is put the experience in the skeleton archer, but the skeleton archer might die as well. It's a tough one. Yeah, I would say, yeah, go with the adept. Or skeleton archer. He's going with the skeleton archer. And that would have been so funny if the skeleton archer died. So this is a trooper. He won't really die. He died to the adept, but he managed to do some damage to the skeleton archer, who, by the way, if you remember my previous comments, should have been dead already. So nice exchange here, pretty even. Okay, he is dancing around. I don't see the point of dancing around at this moment in time. There's no point in dancing around. I mean, this particular fighter, which is healthy, will be able to deal with any shenanigans from these ghouls. And while we were talking here, and while this exchange was going back and forth, all these 3 units were silently healing in the background. And now it's morning and they are ready to contribute to the fight, which is amazing for our dwarf player. It's really marvelous. And of course, he's going to go for the adept. He's going to get this footpad nice and fat in terms of experience. There, you see the power of the footpads. He's going to go for the ghost. However, the ghost is going to take ages to kill. 6-4 and counting. Is he going to go for the ghost? Definitely attack the ghost from this, 60%. So as you can see, any kind of aggression can be dealt with. Here, however, it's a bit odd. It's a bit odd. Okay, now never mind. This footpad can cover. Okay, so if he retreated with one, retreat with all of them. No point in sending one unit to die. Okay, attack the ghost now. No, apparently not. Attack the 60% target, a 40% target. Okay, that was a painful day for Undead, and it's not finished yet. The only saving grace that I see for Undead player are these 2 walking corpses. If they somehow miraculously manage to convert one footpad into a zombie and then start a zombie, let's say, chain reaction, then I would say, yeah, that could turn the tide of this fight. However, he is in a difficult situation, to say the least, so he's going to go around poison, but the poison takes a long time to do its job. This is what I was talking about. So if he manages using these 2 walking corpses to convert this footpad, okay, that's even better. Make sure you get him nice and low before you attack with the walking corpses. So now both walking corpses to try to convert. Okay, I would say walking corpse, definitely. Oh, he is so unlucky, but you know, footpads are 60%. This is what they do best. They are being annoying. So now he would be forced to put the experience into the bat, which is, well, which is not guaranteed. And it must feel so frustrating for our Undead player. What I think he could have done better is attack with more adepts. These ghosts are absolutely fabulous in keeping the rest of the units back, and they will require a lot of time to kill. And they are fabulous. Ghouls are also great in dealing with footpads. However, when attacking, as you see, ghouls take a long time to kill these footpads. Plus, these footpads might actually level up. He has to be careful. Not really sure here. He is in a difficult position simply because he has the faction disadvantage. He has dealt with it brilliantly so far. Okay, we're going to see how quickly skeleton archers do die to fighters, and we see here a level 2 outlaw. That is going to be absolutely painful to deal with. There is the Elfseeker and another footpad. Why not? Okay, retreating the injured units. He doesn't want to take any risks at this point. I do not blame him. I can even do this. And going for the ghost. Okay. Really curious if this footpad will manage to survive or not. Now, 8-4. As you can see, it's getting more and more dire. The situation is getting more and more dire for our undead player. And I don't see how he can make a comeback. I would say try his best to kill this level 2 unit. He must kill this level 2 unit. 16 plus 7 unfortunately will not result in an advancement. Or he could try to whittle down this dwarvish fighter and then convert him into zombies. He needs zombies. Or that. Yeah, that's also a good target. Free up the ghost. Free up the ghost and try to use the ghost to get this particular Elfseeker. That was actually good play. I don't know what the odds are, but I do remember at dusk and dawn, ghosts should be better than Elfseekers. This is really important. The ghost absolutely needs to kill this Elfseeker. If the ghost dies, this is going to be a good game right here, right now. So you see this ghost healing up on that Elfseeker. Incredibly strong. So that is some good news for him. Already killed 2 units, and I'll say kill the footpad with Dark Adept from here. Then even use the ghoul and try to make a walking corpse. He needs a walking corpse. Okay. No, that is even better. I overlooked the fact that this footpad is about to level up, so what he's doing is even better than I proposed initially, and he clears that danger. So somehow, some way, after 3 units kills, our undead player is crawling back into the game. Okay, so unexpected here, to be honest, unexpected. A7, and can he keep the killing going? He's out of adepts though. He should start poisoning some units, perhaps. Attack this footpad. Yeah, poison it. More adepts are coming. Okay, he's going to heal the ghost. I fully agree with that. More poisoning. Or not. No, heal the injured units. No reason to take any chances. However, okay. Now, this poisoning that has been going on in the background, so has determined our purple player to keep going back, healing up units, and he is kind of running out of steam because I remember seeing those 6 adepts, 6 footpads. 3 of them are dead. There is 1 more coming, yeah, but 2 are occupied otherwise here. 4 units on this side. So from this perspective, 1, 2, 3, 4 units occupied with 1 ghoul. From this perspective, our undead's move was actually great. I mean, if you think about it, 1 ghoul created so much commotion on this right-hand side, and it enabled him to kind of survive and exchange evenly in the center. Also, these ghouls, again, they have been going kind of unnoticed under the radar, but whenever the ghoul poisons the unit, you see this unit is almost at half HP, so they have to go back and heal, and it takes time, particularly here with the ghost blocking the retreat of the poisoned unit. This is going to get more and more difficult. However, there is a level 2 on the field. It can be played in many different ways. It can be played on 70% here, try to finish off the ghost, although, yeah, he can definitely do that. It can be played also to try and kill off this ghost, which is a bit more realistic, right, with all these units here around, because ghosts are incredibly annoying to deal with. Plus, this would mean some sort of retreat with perhaps the outlaw here, him and the dwarvish fighter taking all the heat. So we shall see how he makes use of this level 2. There is also another possibility of going for the adept. Really crazy here. However, in that particular situation, he will probably die. He'll probably die the next turn. Well, let's see how he decides to move. Obviously, finishing off here this particular goal. He realizes, look, I've been just wasting time here, and I might as well do something with all the units I invested on this flank, because probably Undead does not have 2 units to defend 2 villages on this flank anyway. Okay, more footpads. Why not? He goes for the adept, the damage dealing unit, so he's not too worried about the ghosts, which is fair. It's actually, these adepts are the ones that are going to hurt, are the ones that are going to deal tons of damage at day. Great, gets the ghoul as well. So ghosts don't really deal a lot of damage unless they are versus Offseekers, so he is deciding to more or less ignore them and focus on the damage dealers. However, this ghoul, before dying, has already fulfilled its purpose. Now, this dwarf will have to go back and heal, so this is going to hurt. That was, I wouldn't say that wasn't a great kill. This one, if he manages to get the kill, it is a great investment of his time, and yes, it seems he will manage to get the kill. However, this particular footpad is now very close. It's very close to leveling up, but it's also very close to dying. And it's 1 hit with the adept and then 2 walking corpses. Remember, walking corpses do not give you experience plus the bat. This will definitely die. I don't agree with this unless brings this outlaw here and destroys the adept. If he manages to destroy the adept, I don't know, 3 out of 3, 2 out of 2, sorry, 2 out of 2, then he is in an absolutely fabulous position. If he manages to get the adept, I'm going to call it. It's get good game, and Dwarf is going to win. Is he going to get the adept? Is he going to get it? And he gets it. Okay, I feel a bit sorry for Undead. He played really well, and for a moment there, I thought he's going to turn things around. However, now things are becoming really difficult with him losing 2 adepts and another unit. Things are spiraling out of control. If he managed to keep this adept alive somehow, some way, he would have been able to fight back. And now he's finally going to address the ghost a bit. And saved? Not really sure here. Okay, 2 out of 2 with the walking corpses. He has finally managed to get 1 walking corpse hit in, which is, redeeming, I would say. But it might be too little too late. Let us see. He goes for this Dwarvish fighter. Why? Because he's in the middle of the field. He can even hit it with the vampire bat and hopefully another walking corpse. Oh, he doesn't get 2 out of 2. Oh, Ghost. I forgot about the Ghost. Just so difficult to see them, right? So Ghost actually deals a lot of damage, as you can see, during night versus 30%. If they get all their 3 hits in, it actually deals, I don't want to say a lot, but significant amount of damage. And now perhaps this walking corpse could get another. Oh, that must feel so frustrating right now. So frustrating. Well, perhaps the bat can finish off the job. He should take the risk at this point. I don't see him. I don't see why not. He does not have anything to lose at this point. He is way behind. Will he use the bat? Okay, another ghost. He's saying, I can't deal damage with my adepts. I can at least survive for longer. This ghost, though, he is very close to leveling up. So, yeah, I don't know what to say here. It's interesting. Maybe we'll see a level 2 ghost. That would be absolutely amazing. However, there is already an outlaw, level 2 outlaw, out and about, and he is going to be a pain. He's going to absolutely demolish ghosts, adepts, anything he can find. Let's see here. This one has to retreat. However, I don't see a problem in retreating it. This one could even go here for the sorcerer, do a melee attack, survive, and become level 2. This is how I would play it. I would make sure I would get a level 2. And even if this level 2 dies, I don't really care. I've dealt so much damage. I'm so far ahead as dwarf that I don't really care, to be honest. This will not be able to go back anyway, so why waste time to save it? Again, this dwarvish fighter can also go back, which, Ghost permitted him to. He's more interested in saving the ghost than blocking the dwarvish fighter, which I guess is a fair point. He just wants this dwarvish fighter to stop fighting. He doesn't want the dwarvish fighter to attack him from 60%. Okay, let's see how he decides. This is really important how he chooses to play this footpad and what he does with the level 2. I'm really interested to see what be the best use he identifies for them. Will he will he prioritize this ghost, the other ghost, simply go for more adepts? Okay, he's prioritizing the walking corpses. Okay, that's significant damage on this ghost. He might just turn around and say, I want to kill that ghost. Okay, this is a more conservative play. He basically is closing the front line here. Could even do this. Closing the front line, trapping the ghost, saying that I'm going to eventually kill this ghost. This is going to die. There's nothing I can do about it. But just go here. Make another level 2. Is he going for it? What? What? I don't understand. Why did he place this footpad here? It doesn't make any sense. He should have gone and attacked the leader, get a level 2. He is absolutely going to die. There are 2 adepts on the field. There is even the leader. He is going to die. I don't understand this adept placement. It's just so painful to see. He could have transformed it into a level 2. Ladies and gentlemen, this might be the turnaround that, Undead could make happen here, right now. He can kill 1, 2. I would say he could, with a bit of luck, he could perhaps kill also this. Nah, it would be difficult. However, 2 units and a relatively decent position. Okay, he's going to get another walking corpse. This is, if I would just say GG, if I were Daniel BR, I would say this particular dwarvish fighter won't die to walking corpses. It will kill them instead. And this is absolutely, this is the walking corpse slayer. If there was a Walking Dead series, if I didn't watch it, I know what's wrong with me. Didn't watch it, but this has to be the main character from Walking Dead. He single-handedly killed 3 zombies before dying. Basically, 1 hit would have killed him. He killed 3 zombies before dying. There must be a comment. Come on, I can feel the frustration. This is just insane. This is, I'm not sure, because I perhaps this is the dwarvish version of Mila Jovovich from from Resident Evil. It must be, otherwise I don't see how that could have happened. So finally, this dwarf died, and I believe, even if, of course, zombie army can turn around fights, I believe Ghost is a much better destination, a much better recipient for the experience. But let us see here. Okay, he's deciding to just play it safe. Although it's night, he should just go on 60%, make some attacks on the outlaw. But guess he's a bit frustrated. This ghost should die. There are so many footpads that can surround it, plus a level 2 footpad. This ghost will die. Yes, so this ghost will die. Now it is really no way that Undead can come back. The game is pretty much reset. Dwarf has a level 2 and a gold advantage and an experience advantage. Did he forget about this ghoul here, or has he been ranging the ghoul and the ghoul just wouldn't die? Be interesting to see. Will he hit the ghoul or not? Okay, he actually hit the ghoul. Yeah. So, I mean, look at the difference. There are some walking corpses there, but still, it's highly favoring Dwarf. And now Day is coming to add insult to injury. He is not going to be able to come back from this. I'm even going to play side turn. I don't see him coming back. You see, he's making walking corpses. Dwarf has not recruited in ages. He has been able to efficiently use these 4 villages to heal poison from his units, which is, I think, another problem with this map. It even favors Dwarf more, simply because there's a high density of villages close to the fight, and Dwarf can retreat and heal pretty easily. Probably you've seen from my voice, I would have wanted to see Undead win, simply because faction-wise, he is the underdog, but Crow played it safe. I believe there is nothing else that Undead can further do. He can feel the frustration. He even forgot a ghoul here in the mushrooms, and I don't see him being able to do much. Okay, he's just recruiting mass ghosts and adepts. Oops, I'll just play side turn. Look at this army. 1, 2, 3, 4 dwarvish fighters. And plenty of footpads. 4 footpads, 4 dwarvish fighters. This is a scary army. All he needs is these 2 footpads to come back on this side, and I would say 1 or 2, depending on when he wants to attack, 1 or 2 more offseekers, and he can just destroy anything he pleases to. Nice approach here with 3 walking corpses, 4 walking corpses, right? He is basically in full camping mode, Undead, and I can't really blame him. He is way behind. However, if Dwarf decides to wait it a bit longer, the fact that Undead has so many walking corpses, 4 of them, unit-wise, he might be able to, numerically, he might be able to close the gap, simply because these walking corpses, they cost absolutely no upkeep, right? So he might be able to close the gap. There is the second Offseeker, he needs a third one, and then he will be able to simply wipe out Undead from existence. A lot of ghosts, of course. He sees the Offseekers, I'm sure he did with the VAT. So for every Offseeker, he needs a ghost, and then 1 ghost more. And so we shall see an epic attack coming up soon. We shall see how these players manage attack and defense. Now it's clear there are no more secrets. Undead is basically holding in this game by the skin of his teeth. Dwarf is basically going to attack. Undead is full defense mode, so we are going to see a textbook Dwarf attack with footpads and fighters and berserkers, and a textbook Undead defense with ghosts and adepts. Who will win? considering how far behind Undead is, I would say Dwarf will win it. And considering, of course, that Dwarf has a faction advantage, I would say Dwarf will win it, but he still needs to carry out the attack, do the kills, get the villages, and win the game. He still needs to do it. He is at an advantage, definitely, but it still remains to see how he will exploit that advantage and convert it into victory. Oh my god, this is going to be a fight of epic proportions, basically. Undead is, rightfully so. He is in full camp mode, so we shall see now how you can destroy a camping Undead. Let's see, will he attack? He needs to attack as soon as possible, I feel. But the Oathseekers are not in position. This is a bit of a delayed attack. Oathseekers will be in position eventually. I mean, he only has one Oathseeker in position. From this perspective, this attack is not as strong as it could be. I would have liked to see a second Oathseeker in position. One, I feel, is not enough. I mean, 2 Oathseekers, killing 2 of these Adepts, 1 Adept remaining, GG. Not much else you could do. So it's not as strong as it could be. However, it is strong enough, I would say. You see the line of Adepts. So you see line of footpads and Adepts. He decided to not get his units poisoned. I would have been a bit cheekier. I would have said, look, some of the units are going to die. And if one of my units gets poisoned, I'm not going to go back with that unit. I'm just going to keep attacking with that unit, get full use out of it before it dies. This is the right way to play it against poison. And look at these poisoners. He is going to have units poisoned. So from this perspective, I would have even liked to see a healthy, healthy is not that affected from poison. I would have even liked to see a healthy Dwarvish fighter attacking from here, from this tile, to deal a bit more significant damage into the ghoul. He might say, look, I don't want really to deal damage at this point. I want to wait for morning. However, he does not get any benefit from morning. He might have also said, look, I want to get a bit of more mileage from these footpads at dawn. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I got interrupted once more. So let's proceed with our epic attack. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, let's see how our Undead player is going to play it. He is going to form a line of ghosts and ghouls, and I do not blame him for that. So basically, go here, go here, go here. He basically doesn't want to form a line on the village, simply because if the unit dies, if this village unit dies, then our dwarf player is going to get both the village and a unit, therefore very high reward. Because there are not 2 Oathseekers, so normally if there were 2 Oathseekers in range, this Oathseeker could eliminate this ghoul, the second Oathseeker could eliminate this ghoul, or something of the Oathseeker eliminating this ghost or this ghost. I'm not even sure. I mean, it might be that due to modifications, now ghosts can kill Oathseekers even at day in order to balance out the faction. But I am not sure. This is an intelligent, quick Oathseeker. This ghost will definitely kill it. However, I'm really curious whether a strong, resilient Oath would kill a ghost by itself. Going to play it move by move. So Undead is doing the right things. Ghosts forward, ghouls forward. Even if the ghouls die, then dwarves are going to be poisoned. Nice close here with the bat. So basically, he's not paying too much attention to this particular tile. If the Oathseeker was in range of the bat, so this is why I'm saying 2 Oathseekers, one on this side, one on the other side, would have been key here. So it's really interesting to see how Dwarf plans to break this deadlock. So Dwarvish fighter going for the vampire bat, he would need to be lucky to kill the vampire bat. He is not. So this means that this particular side is locked. Sorry, Dwarf, you are not getting in. Okay, now he is going to go for the ghost with ranged attacks. Don't particularly agree with this. This is not going to do a lot of damage. Okay. Okay. So I'm not sure about the chance to kill on this. We can't really see it. But he only dealt 2 damage and now he's going for the ghost. This is a really, really important kill. Is the ghost going to win? Is the oath going to win? Let's see. It is really important that the Oathseeker gets the kill here. If he doesn't get the kill, then it's going to be incredibly difficult for Dwarf to break this undead defense. And unfortunately not. He would have needed more kills and more hits from the footpads. However, the ghost is alive at the very end. Not even a Dwarvish fighter can kill it. So, ladies and gentlemen, basically Undead stumped all over Dwarves' attack. You need more Oathseekers to break this. Imagine a second Oathseeker coming and breaking the ghost, and another fighter here attacking perhaps the walking corpse. Even 2 Oathseekers here, and then so 2 Oathseekers on the ghost, then a third Oathseeker killing the Dark Adept, and then units pouring in through this side. You need the Oathseekers to break. You can't simply attack with an Oathseeker, and we've just seen why. So, ladies and gentlemen, unbelievable. Undead is making a comeback simply due to perhaps luck. Not really sure what the chance to kill was here. Perhaps luck, but also a bit of a rushed attack. I know we are level at turn 26, and I know saying rushed attack is a bit of an overkill, but it's not. It's not a matter of how many units you have. At this point in the game, with so many units on the board, it's a matter of how many Oathseekers you have and in which positions. You need to break key points in your undead enemy's defense in order to go through. And now basically, Dwarf will be forced to patch up these holes and deal absolutely no damage whatsoever, and ghouls will start poisoning, adepts will start dealing damage. This will be a massacre. And let's see, you see he's patching up those holes. He's forced to take risks at this point. Okay. He's patching up the holes, and he's already pulled back from these. For example, terrain next to hill, terrain next to village, he's pulled back. He's patching up the holes and forming a line this way, which is damage control. Makes a lot of sense. You're going to play side's turn here. And as I say that, he decides to go back in and form this V shape. So he's not close to the village, but he's close to the hill. So from this perspective, the ghoul should poison this healthy, intelligent Dwarvish fighter. I wouldn't see any reason for him not to do so. So it's looking incredibly good for our undead player. I'm not even going to comment on this. I don't see this doing much. If the Dwarvish fighter is lucky with the walking corpse, then yeah, maybe this footpad could get this village, and then something might happen in the end. However, this is too little to matter, in my opinion. Now, it's really important how Undead plays this. He had a wonderful turn last time. He lost a lot of units, yeah, on the long run, but he had a wonderful turn last time. So he can play this a number of ways. One of them would be to just simply put the ghoul, let's say, on the hill here, poison this footpad, use this adept on the footpad. Well, let me rephrase. Use all these 3 adepts, kill, flat, kill this footpad, then put the ghost forward, or even put the ghoul forward, poison another footpad again, but be careful, this one is close to leveling up. Okay, there are many possibilities. I would say poison here, poison from the hill here, poison from the mushrooms here, and rest Philip with goats. So all three ghouls, they poison footpad, fighter, and then all the other gaps get filled in with walking corpses and adepts behind. That's all he needs to do. Poison 3 units, ghouls forward, filling the gaps with walking corpses, ghosts behind. Even there can be a ghost here on this particular terrain on 3.8. He could bring a ghost here to get some more experience from the Dwarvish fighter and make a stronger, let's say a stronger gatekeeper, put a stronger gatekeeper here at the deep water path, and then he can be absolutely okay. Remember, he has another ghost, so he can spare one ghost, move these ghosts around, chain them, if you will, and then he should be absolutely fine. I'm really curious if he does the 3 poison strategy. Okay, he's a bit greedy here. He's saying, okay, I'm going to put the Adept here. Why? Because if he does kill my Adept with the Oathseeker, he can't really take advantage of the gap in my defense. So he's going to be a bit greedy. That's absolutely fine, but he's doing the move from the hill. Yeah, poison. There, another poison from this side should be. I would have personally gone for the other. I would have personally gone for the other footpath. Yeah. Simply because this one might heal heroically and heal the poison, whereas this one, well, this one is in the same position. So I guess what he did was more or less the same. This one is intelligent quick, so it was a bit better attacking this one. However, he didn't hit and he got a lot of retaliation back, so that was unfortunate. That was unlucky. Again, goes forward. He's not even going to waste time closing the gate on this side. He's going to say, I don't even care, come in. It's going to be night soon. I will feast on your army. He's just going to use the walking corpse to basically protect the ghost a bit. And he's going to be extremely aggressive and greedy, as I said the first time. Okay, you want to attack me? Fine. You're going to attack a ghost or a ghoul anyway. If you're going to attack a ghost and a ghoul anyway in my line of defense and you're going to kill it, might as well do the kill here rather than there. I don't really care. You are not going to kill more than one ghost anyway. So might as well be here far away from my line of defense rather than there. And plus, my ghost can backstab. My ghost can be annoying. You want to kill a ghost? Kill this one instead. No problem. So, from this perspective and the way he played it so far, this move makes a lot of sense. He's even pushing Adepts forward. I don't agree with this. Again, if there were 2 Wolfseekers on the field, imagine Wolfseeker here, I would have gone in without even thinking. However, since there are not, one died here, then he can be greedy with these Adepts forward. Wow, that's a lot of damage, and suddenly this Dwarvish fighter is in a lot of trouble. Okay, there is the gatekeeper, as I said, and he should fill in the gaps with walking corpses, and he should be fine, except, no, he should be fine simply because he has Ghost and Ghoul to zone of control here. Even if this Ghoul dies, he will be fine. Never mind, one more Ghoul, poisoning, one more footpad. There it is. So he was a bit more greedy than I was. 3 poisoners, as I said. 1 ghost in the very tip of the formation, but Adepts also did something the way he played it, which is fair enough considering that he feels he is ahead, and I do think now that he is ahead simply because that... Oh, what is this? He is very confident and courageous right now. He's basically saying, I am ahead, go ahead, grab this village, I'm more interested in getting a kill from this. So our undead player must be feeling really, really well now. So he has reason to look at all this poison whittling down the Dwarvish player. So if you guys want to see how to play Undead versus Dwarf, this is a textbook defense. Props to our player Daniel BR, who made it last this long, who didn't give up. Let's see how our Undead player goes about it. He's going for the ghost again. Now he's going to be on 40%, and the ghost is going to be 13. So I would expect the Oathseeker to get the kill. Okay, he's going for the Adept. He kills the Adept. So that was, I'm not sure whether that was lucky or not. However, 2 It's not unheard of two Dwarvish fighters killing an adept on 40%. So 1 kill this turn. Is he going to go for the ghost? Is he going to go for the ghost? He's going for the village. Again, it was a bit Daniel BR making a statement that he is not scared. He's out for blood. He is confident in his skills. However, I would have been more confident in his play if he had recruited another adept. This is a bit risky. Okay, and he's going to recruit another Dwarvish fighter. He is going to pull back. So from this perspective, he basically said, this Dwarvish fighter is going to die. I took another unit with me. The rest is just defense. So he is basically banking on this Dwarvish fighter to survive. And there's no reason why the Dwarvish fighter wouldn't survive. There are only 2 adepts. However, it's going to be a bit tricky. Why? Because the ghost can come in, and then Undead can have 4 tiles around the Dwarvish fighter to hit. Okay, full defense mode here. Dwarvish fighters on flat. He suddenly sensed that the momentum is slipping. Undead is now the player that has the initiative, and this is going to be a really important turn. This right here, really important turn. Now, does he get the kill on the footpad or not? It was a bit of a gamble from Undead's side, but he's basically confident that he can get the kills with the leader. 1 out of 3, and suddenly 15 on 70%. He does not have an adept coming. That was a bit of, let's say, he was a bit overconfident, overjoyous over the fact that his ghost survived the Oathseeker attack. Okay, so far so good. He needs the skeleton to attack it as well. Will the no, not from here, because now you can't really reach it with the walking corpse. Skeleton should have attack from here. However, he probably wants to make sure that his zone of controls this footpad. There it is. So yeah, I guess normal luck, minus 4%. With normal luck, that footpad died. However, it could have ended up differently if the 70% would have behaved a little bit more annoying like it usually does. So that was okay. So far so good. So this could have been really ugly for our Undead player. However, it is not. So his little trap here paid off. However, look at the unit investment and his leader. His leader cannot be on this side where the main fight is happening. So even if that footpad died, it died with a purpose. Now, the more important part is what happens on this side, because I see these Dwarvish fighters on flat. Just keen of saying the ghosts will just go through all these particular sides and range them and be annoying. Dwarvish fighters on flat, they are not very good versus ghosts. So he goes for the Oathseeker. It's not day anymore. It is dusk. And this particular Dwarvish Oathseeker is not on 40%, is on 30%. So I would dare to say that this was a big mistake, a huge mistake. Another interruption, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. It is getting more and more difficult for me to practice my casting hobby. So if you do like it, if you do like my videos, please subscribe. It does help a lot. It's a small thing for you to do. Click that button, subscribe, and this will show me that indeed it's worth continuing, and it's worth spreading the fun and the knowledge. Anyway, I'm really excited to see how this fight turned out. So without further ado, we will continue. I believe I was talking about this grave mistake. I mean, think about it. The Dwarvish Oathseeker could have attacked the ghost from a 40% during daytime. Instead, the ghost is attacking the 30% Oathseeker during dusk. So if you're going to go for the ghost, go for it. If you're not going to go for it, at least put the oath back, at least on 50% or in another strategic position. Don't just leave it there. But we are, I remember we were discussing that perhaps Crow got a bit tired and frustrated by the length of this match, but that's not an excuse. True champions should always pay attention to these little things. This is what distinguishes them from normal players. However, let's see this particular fight. I expect the Allseeker to die. There's no question about that. And it doesn't look good for the Allseeker, as expected. I mean, imagine this happening during the day from 40%. Probably it would have looked a bit more differently. Anyway, let's proceed with Undead. But at this point, I think it's safe to say that Undead... Oh, and he even gets 3 out of 3 with the Ghost. So this is how you should play it. You might say, oh, he shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have actually attacked with this Ghost first. He should have managed experience. But if you do get a chance to get 3 out of 3, you should always use this unit first, especially since the Dwarf was on 30%. So in case it happens, you have the experience in the right Ghost. Otherwise, you can find, for example, this school or, another unit, since there are tons of units that do have some experience on the battlefield. So he played it pretty well, I would say, and bonus for him, he got the kill with that Ghost. Now this Ghost is going to be absolutely a pain to deal with for the Dwarf. I'm expecting GG any second now. 2 out of 2s from the Adepts, adding insult to injury, and another zombie. Fortunately, this was not the main character in Walking Dead, so he died to the walking corpse. Yeah, the only thing going for our our Dwarf player is this level 2, and perhaps another level 2 in the making, and another level 2. I'm really curious how many level 2s can we see this game. However, look at the losses and kills. Remember, there are some walking corpses here, so I would say that Undead has the advantage. He's going to go ahead and poison. Why not? Sure, he's ahead. You can say poison this one, poison everything. Even if you get damage in return, just spread the poison. Didn't even notice that this can be zone of control. This is absolutely marvelous for our Undead player. He's not poisoning as much as I would want him to, but he should poison this one. I would poison him. I would. Go ahead now. He's not taking any chances. He's saying, I'm on a roll. I will absolutely demolish this Dwarf. There's no reason to take any chances at this point. And that's another fair strategy, another fair way to play this. I'll just... okay, he's decided to stay, and again, he doesn't care about poison anymore. And if you are losing against a poison heavy opponent, this is how you should play it. Look, I'm already losing. Might as well deal my damage. Deal damage until I die from poison. Not a problem. Just maximize my output in terms of damage. And this Dwarvish fighter should level up. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate. I'm really sorry for him. He's a bit unlucky at this point. Oh, this one stays. Again, I'm not sure I agree to that. You see, all these poison units having to go back, having to come back into the fight. It's a pain, really. And I don't see how Dwarf could come back into this game. Okay, 2 out of 2 misses. That's one way to get back into the game. Some misses from the Adepts. Good for him. Okay, some hits with the Ghost as well. A Wraith, that'd be absolutely impossible to kill. And another zombie. No, not yet. Yeah, no zombie. So that's pretty... That was pretty alright, I would say. Could have been worse for our Dwarf player. Decent misses on the Adepts, and most importantly, this footpad stayed alive. He might have a remote chance of leveling up. So, but again, this is just all delaying the inevitable. Look at all these green poor souls. They're not going to be able to do much. I'm just thinking whether there is any way, any snowball's chance in hell for this footpad to level up. If this dwarvish fighter attacks this dark adept, and he should do that. He should by all means attack this dark adept, and if this dark adept is within 1 kill of dying, then this outlaw should try 3 out of 3 on the walking corpse, and then this outlaw should go in this particular slot and finish off the adept, but it's a long shot. He's even fighting zombies at this point. That's when you know things are rough. And there it is. It's not within 1 hit of dying though, so I don't expect him to go through with the plan I described earlier. I honestly don't understand why Dwarf isn't CCing at this point. He almost had the game. It was a back and forth game. I'll just play size, and I just don't think anything else could happen at this point. Just a bunch of dwarves dying to undead at night. Okay, that is sad to see all your army turned into zombies. That is really sad. That was a lucky ghost. So 2 level 2s, 2 level 2 ghosts. That's what you want to see as undead, and this is, I think, the only way to power through dwarves, leveling up those ghosts, making them into wraiths, and they are simply unkillable. That's the only thing that undead have going for them. It's ghosts. You have to admire Dwarf for staying into this game. However, realistically, mathematically, I believe he's already out. I am just going to hit continuous replay next time and expect GG soon. Marvelous game, back and forth. At one point I thought, 3 times in a row I thought Dwarf was going to win it, but somehow, some way, Undead managed to crawl his way back into this game. So if you guys want to know how to play Undead versus Dwarf, this is how you should do it. However, I would have played things a bit differently. If I was Dwarf, I would have recruited more Oathseekers, provided that Oathseekers can still kill ghosts during the day, which I believe they can. And other than that, very well played from Dwarf as well. Again, I would have liked to see more Oathseekers, and I would have liked him to take his time when attacking, build that critical mass of Oathseekers rather than hurrying up and not having the units in place. It's frustrating, but this is how it should be. So more level 2s. It seems Krau's going to go all the way. He's a trooper. He's going to fight with his leader. He does not want to concede. You have to appreciate that. He almost had it. It must be really frustrating for him to, have to deal with all this, seeing all these undead at your gates when you almost had the game in hand. It just must feel disheartening. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I will just let this run for a while. You should probably see the leader kill or the GG. And just wanted to talk to you about a couple of things. One of them is, okay, Krau has left the game, GG. There is the GG. So I wanted to talk to you about a number of things. One of them is I have created a map. It's a very small map, but I believe it's fun. It's called Politics. It's a free-for-all, and you it's very easy because it's a large castle in the middle, and it's very easy to backstab your allies, makeshift alliances, your temporary allies, and you have to play basically a Niccolo Machiavelli game to win it. If any of you knows how to convert this map into an official add-on on the official server, please let me know. Send me a PM on the forums, and let me know how I can turn it into something that people can actually download. And last but not least, I think I said it 3 times in a row, it's getting increasingly difficult for me to allocate time for Wesnoth and for my hobbies. Therefore, if you do like this, please subscribe so that I know what I do here matters for you, ladies and gentlemen. For the crowd, always yours, Nikki.